The dictionary definition of hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. But I believe that hope is collaboration. The outcome of people bringing their individual things together to bring about change. Not only something that we hope personally, but hope is something we should aim to bring to others, to bring to the world, to remind them they can progress another day, to remind them that trouble cannot last always. Hope is not always pretty, not always polished. Sometimes it is the only thing we have to hold on to. Sometimes it is the only thing that brings us through. As we present today, I'd like you to think about what hope means. My name is Shonda Thompson, manager at the Department of Youth Office, and I'd like you to meet the other members of my group, the best group.
I'm Michael Fetter, Director of Marketing at Louisville Tourism.
I'm Courtney Evans. I'm Director of Advancement at Jewish Family and Career Services.
I'm Carmen Nature, Director of Development at Dayspring.
I'm Amanda Keller, and I'm the Senior Physician Recruiter at Norton Healthcare.
I'm David Payne, Assistant General Counsel, Confluent Health.
I'm Ashley Woods, Compliance Coordinator with LMPD. When we met Stachel Bussey, Executive Director and founder of the Hope Bus, and Nanny Cronin, Program Lead, their passion, dedication, and commitment to providing support to the community, particularly in West Louisville and other underserved communities, this was a huge factor as to why we chose the Hope Bus. The presentation was powerful. It ignited hope within our team, which inspired us to choose them. They have so much to offer the community, which is what we wanted from the nonprofit. The Hope Bus is more than a bus. The Hope Bus provides food, shelter via the Hope Village, and financial assistance to those in need of hope who reside in the west end of the city. With the abundant amount of aid and support that the Hope Bus provides to the community, it became evident they had limited resources to extend their services beyond their reach. We also chose the Hope Bus because it tasked us with thinking outside of the box and pushed us to be non-conventional, which caused us to step out of our conventional comfort zone and help strengthen us as a team as we brainstorm ways to raise awareness and make an impact. We wanted to become hope dealers to help continue and further the Hope Bus's mission.
Now that you've heard a little bit about why we were so excited to work with the Hope Bus, I want to tell you about how the best group was able to bring everyone's strengths together to help make an impact. The 7 of us have a wealth of professional experiences, including recruiting, marketing, legal, compliance, and fundraising. But as we learned at the opening weekend retreat for the Ignite program, we also have a variety of personalities on our team. And at that retreat, we learned that one of the best ways our team was going to fit together was by finding a project or an organization that would help us think outside the box. And the Hope Bus gave us that opportunity. One of the first meetings where we really began to understand the scope of everything that the Hope Bus does was when we met with them at the church kitchen they use to prepare meals for the Hope Village. Each week, Nanny, the project lead, assembles whatever help she can find to prepare over 800 meals in this kitchen for the residents of the Hope Village. And that's just one of the programs that the Hope Bus provides on a consistent basis to the community. It quickly became clear that, like with any newer nonprofit, what the Hope Bus really needed was additional resources to support their programs and their passion and their mission. With that in mind, our team had several brainstorming sessions where we assessed what we could realistically achieve in the time that we had with the collective strengths of our group. Through this process, we realized that we could help the Hope Bus achieve positive outcomes in 3 key areas. We determined that we could raise awareness through Restaurant Week. We could support sustainability through transferring to a donor database, and we could lay the groundwork for growth by helping the Hope Bus envision its first annual fundraiser.
When we started this, talking with friends and colleagues about our project and our nonprofit, we were often met with questions like, who are they? What do they do? And the occasional, oh, is that Stachel Bussey? So one could learn, as we learned from our day at Brown Foreman, Stachel herself has a great personal brand and positive personal brand, but not so much for the Hope Bus. Our team in brainstorming and greenhousing on ways to raise awareness, we were presented with an opportunity that we just couldn't pass up. Louisville Restaurant Week. Louisville Restaurant Week is in its third year of existence, where $1 from every meal is donated back to the local nonprofit. In addition, this year, the week's organizers and the key sponsor decided to donate an additional $1,000 to that nonprofit. I'm happy to say that the Best Group secured the Hope Bus as that nonprofit. When we presented the opportunity to the Hope Bus team, they were all in. They immediately worked with us and the week organizers to develop a Hope Bus tour, where the bus itself was taken on the road to different participating restaurants all over the city, in the East End, West End, so they can spread the word of the mission of what they do and actually show up the bus itself. We were also able to secure, although with a little hesitation at first, some media opportunities where the Hope Bus could get on air to tell stories like this one.
Are you thinking about lunch? Louisville Restaurant Week begins today.
$1 from every meal purchase during the week will be donated to the Hope Bus. 12 area restaurants will offer a 3-course menu for either $26, $36, or $46. The founder of the Hope Bus says the donations from Restaurant Week will make a huge difference to end food security and homelessness.
Feed thousands of people. We support people in housing resources. We've kept people in housing. We've kept people's lights on. And I always say that it is fun when you get grants from and support from foundations, but it is nothing like having the support of the Louisville community. That means the most to us and to me.
As you can see by the numbers on this next slide, the Restaurant Week and Hope Bus participation was a huge win. We got over 24 media hits, which generated 39.4 million impressions, or an estimated ad value of $56,000. We also secured 3 on-air interviews for the Hope Bus on 3 of the top 4 news stations. And as you can see, the social media growth alone was huge. 720% in page likes on Facebook. This is a huge number for them to continue the communication of their mission and for a sustainable future.
When you have amazing numbers like this behind raising awareness, like Michael has mentioned, and have a lot of individuals who want to get involved with the Hope Bus, it's imperative that you have an organized system to track these individuals to maximize their involvement. This includes everything from volunteers, in-kind donations, all the way to, of course, financial support that every nonprofit needs. How do you organize this to maximize that potential? Through a donor database. We researched multiple options that were free to start giving the Hope Bus something to work with. They were currently using PayPal and Excel sheets, and we wanted to make sure that we could transition them to something more sustainable and organized. That is why we chose Fundraise, as you can see here. The Fundraise platform tracks donor engagement, has a new and improved donation form that's also on the screen, smooth ability to increase and transfer monthly donors, and the ability to easily send email campaigns, tax receipts, and of course, sell tickets for events. Due to limited time, a short training manual was created for the Hope Bus that included how to use Fundraise, how to add donors and volunteers along with their gifts, and how to transfer monthly donors to this platform. Once the Hope Bus fully utilizes the free version, they're able to upgrade to a paid version that will allow them to grow their donor base even more. This is a sustainable way to build a strong foundation for the next phase that we focused on, growth.
Since inception in 2020, the Hope Bus has seen rapid and substantial growth of all programs. The small but mighty team has fostered many rich relationships in the form of volunteers, advocates, and lives served. Now, in a time of expansion, the organization is presented with new and very different challenges and opportunities. The Hope Bus must decipher strategic next steps to reach new goals on behalf of the mission. With a staff of 6, the limited capacity seems unrelenting. In order to provide the best quality services and programming, the Hope Bus must use their unique relationship skills to increase financial contributions. No matter the level of passion, no matter the quality of your mission, without funding, fighting fires and treading water will remain constant with no room for growth. Our team provided the Hope Bus with some key insights and materials needed to become strong financial stewards of their organization. These new assets will not only help solidify the foundation, but provide methods for long-term growth and impact. An idea sparked from detailed discussions surrounding the community engagement efforts and limited resources. The BEST team crafted the materials and logistics needed to execute an event geared towards donor cultivation and appreciation. Planning included vendor and venue logistics, sponsorship cultivation, sponsorship email, letters, drafts, and more. The Hope Bus now has a strong framework for nonprofit event planning with various gatherings planned for the future. With a new database intact, this event is an ideal way to begin the effective tracking and evaluation of volunteer engagement, donor metrics, and beyond. These new tools are necessary building blocks for the Hope Bus, positioning them well to achieve long-term organizational goals that include creating a monthly giving program, increasing in-kind donations, and launching a capital campaign. We hope the BEST team supplied the Hope Bus with some simple but effective methods that will turn goals into reality. We use what we've learned over the last months to embrace diversity of thought and to understand the community the Hope Bus serves. This allowed us to be more productive innovators, finding creative steps needed for the Hope Bus to succeed, specifically tools needed to diversify and increase the organization's supporters and advocates. And we all left with a bit more hope.
While the BEST group was able to achieve key outcomes for the Hope Bus, the project was not without its challenges. Though we were able to establish a good dialogue with the Hope Bus early on, we had difficulty getting consistent lines of communication with the Hope Bus once we started working toward our deliverables. For example, our team internally would hold weekly meetings and we trade thoughts and information over text and email in between. And we thought that we'd be able to establish this same cadence with the Hope Bus team. But as you heard throughout the presentation today, the Hope Bus has a lot going on. And naturally that leads to their team being spread pretty thin. As a result, we had difficulty getting responses to some of our emails, and we had trouble getting clear direction on some of the tasks that we were trying to accomplish. It took our team a little too long to realize that our team's communication methods weren't the best methods for communicating with the Hope Bus. Thankfully, we were able to reflect as a team on some of the trainings we've learned through the Ignite program to properly frame the facts behind this communication disconnect, which allowed us to reach a solution. Ultimately, we relied on the strengths of our two team members who had established the strongest relationships with the Hope Bus. Both Lashana and Michael were instrumental in helping us get back on track and get the information we needed as we headed into the final weeks of our project.
Along with our unique personalities, which we are unique, we are the best, but we are unique. We tried to provide hope in addition to this bus that you see. So back to what LaShawna asked you at the start of this presentation. How do you define hope? What does hope mean to you? Maybe it's best said by Stachel Bessie.
Is a sure confidence that resides within. It does not exist in limbo, nor does it wait for miraculous intervention. Rather, it is the confident expectation that if one works diligently, following spirits lead, what we are working towards eventually materializes. Hope is the anchor that keeps us grounded, even after multiple failed attempts. The single driving force that says yes when the world says no. Hope in, hope up.
Thank you. And remember, hope is you.
Great.
Can you talk a little bit about how you all plan to be involved in the August event and in the future?
Sure. So our group, all of us, since the event was kind of one of our brainchilds, we have committed to the Hope Bus in the planning and execution of the full event, from soup to nuts. So we will still continue to be very involved. And myself personally, I have been asked to be on their community board, so I will be now on that.
So you are gonna execute this event coming up.
We're gonna help execute.
You're gonna help execute.
Correct.
Talk about sustainability. When this rolls around, if the event's gonna be held next year.
Sure. So part of what Carmen was mentioning, we have developed an outline of how to execute the event and develop, here's how to find the right vendors, here's what a budget could look like, and that kind of situation in hopes for that being the sustainable piece. As we help walk them through that process, the first year, they will have the outline.
And there's also different kind of marketing materials as well, that were created, like emails and different things like that, that can be duplicated. And on the donor database, there's the ability to sell tickets. So you're able to track the donors that way as well.
I think, yeah, I was going to say the biggest thing to that's the sustainability of what we've done is that it actually piggybacks off of the great efforts that the Hope Bus already does. They're all about community. They know how to put on community events. They know how to go out and meet the people that they serve. So we were trying to help focus them. Okay, you know how to go meet the people that you need to serve. How do you raise the money to expand that? So that's what we were trying to sort of recenter. The Hope Bus team is great at putting together an event. We're just trying to help them focus on an event that will raise some money for.
Can you talk a little bit about the process of getting the Hope Bus selected for Restaurant Week? Because that idea came completely from you all. Was there a pitch involved, or what kind of work went into that selection?
So that we used our assets. I work for Louisville Tourism, and Louisville Tourism is one of the main sponsors of Restaurant Week. So Louisville Tourism gets to decide who is the nonprofit. But a time to some sort of tourism.
Thank you.
Overall operating budget annual.
It's less than 200.
Less than 250,000 a year.
They have about 190 individuals. And so the free platform will allow them to go up to 1,000. Still using the free platform, but they have 190 individual donors, and of that, I believe about 50 are at monthly givers. And so they have a really good donor base that's really loyal.
Now, you talked about the strategy to increase the number of monthly donors. Can you all talk a little bit about that?
I can expand a little bit. So we have a tracker for this event that eventually all of that can go into the donor database that they'll have. So they'll have access to all that information in detail. They can print out, hey, here are the people that came in their email that aren't donors. They've got those to hit up and ask them, and we can turn one-offs, as we call them, fundraisers, into, we call it moves management, into monthly donors. So they'll have the framework for sustainability.
And the Restaurant Week platform actually allowed people to donate directly to the Hope Bus through their PayPal account. So we will then migrate those PayPal numbers into the new database. With the opportunity to have them be sustainable.
Now it's about 30 seconds, judges.
You've got another question. I can see it. I know. I'm sorry. Go for it. It looks like you all participated in some volunteer activity. I saw some hands-on work. Can you all talk a little bit about volunteer opportunities and the work you did with?
On Tuesday evenings, Manny, and they also have an interns as well, an intern and cook meals back to the Hope Village. So as part of our engagement with them, we would also come together and cook meals with them and help prepare those meals to be taken down to the Hope Village.
That was the 800 meals per week that we talked about. So.